Hey everybody, and welcome to the conclusion of Arkham Week. So, it might be kind of pointless to see my review of Arkham City since so many people have done reviews on it, but hey, I wanted to do it, so here we go right back into the madhouse. Or should I say, maybe we should go into the Mad City. So let's dive in.
By the end of tonight, I will be a hero, just like you, Batman.
So, taking some time after the events in the first game, the former warden of Arkham Asylum, Quincy Sharp, who is now the mayor of Gotham, has blocked off a good fair bit of Gotham and made it into a high-security prison, with all Gotham's criminals just thrown in and left to run wild in the walled-off area known as Arkham City. To make things worse, even though you have criminals running wild and they are getting their hands on high-powered firearms, the new head of this asylum, Hugo Strange, reveals to Batman that he knows his identity. And then you have the Joker. I don't even want to spoil what he is up to, but all you need to know is that the Joker is back and just as crazy and menacing as ever. The story takes many turns and holds many surprises along the way. Out of the big surprises, one you may see coming, but the other you probably won't. That being said, I will not spoil any big part of the story for you. Let me just say that the stakes are much higher, and there is more suspense going into it. Now, voice acting in this game is just as high quality as it was in the last game. Kevin Conroy as Batman and Mark Hamill as the Joker are still top-of-the-line voice acting. Hugo Strange's voice has a quality evil tone to it, and Mr. Freeze's voice is delightfully chilling and menacing.
You will bring me Nora, or you will die.
And all the others' voices seem to fit their moods, except for maybe Harley Quinn. You see, she isn't voiced by Arlene Sorkin in this. Why? Well, I really don't know. But the new girl is an okay Harley Quinn. I mean, she has the voice right, but now she really needs to work on the innocent and excitement of the character. As it stands, she does get to sound a little annoying. And let's be honest, Harley Quinn normally would be annoying if she wasn't so beloved and innocent in the inside. But I think this new voice actor does show promise. This game's voices all seem to stand out, and sometimes it isn't a major character. Sometimes just the simple chatter between thugs as the game progresses can be great to listen to, as their topics of what they're talking about will change as the game progresses. The audio tapes are back and is just as interesting and as engrossing as they were in Asylum, and they still help you get into the mindset of the villains. Although with Hugo Strange and basically every audio tape, you do kind of want to focus on other villains more than him.
Good evening, Hugo. I believe it is time for our one-on-one.
No. It is time for you to stop this and give up. My tiger guards will find you, and when that happens, I will perform the procedure on you myself.
Procedure? Oh, you mean what you did to all those poor fools back at the asylum. To be honest, I think you did them a favor.
How do
I know that you requested access to all the most forgettable patients and proceeded to melt their brains with the help of that confused milliner? Or did you mean, how do I know that you have been providing the ex-warden with your own special medication? No doubt intended to render his synapses more malleable to your suggestions. Or maybe you are currently wondering if I know about the secret panel in your closet. How it slides back to reveal what you want most. How you sit, wearing that suit, crying into your hands as you question whether you are really worthy.
What do you want, Mr. Nigma?
Oh, that's easy. I want exactly what you want.
And what's that?
Batman, dead. Humiliated, but dead.
This game has many different side missions with all interesting qualities to them, and they all add to the story rather than feel like they are just thrown in there without feeling a need to line up with the rest of the story. They add to the feel of Arkham City and how horrible it has become, and sometimes you will feel like you just want to forget about the main story and do all the side missions because they are so interesting. However, you will not be distracted from the main story for too long because it still drives you and sucks you in and ends on a great note.
You are in my world now.
Now, if you thought that Asylum had good designs, then you will not believe what they got here in the AC. Well, you know, Arkham City. The whole area that is cut off is downright dirty and gothic, with only a few buildings that look new. But there is more. The whole city feels different because of things like in one area the city is flooded and so you can't walk on the ground, you'll have to keep on grappling. And in the other areas, you gotta try to be careful where you step, because some areas are mined. But every building feels like it took days to design because of the dirt and the rust and the pure cold nature and the way the city looks. And even the inside of some of these places look equally detailed and gruesome. Almost every villain has a different place with its own mood and feel, so you never feel like you are ever going down the same hallway but in a different building. Also, in order for it to feel like Gotham, you need one thing. Blimps. Blame it on the animated series, but Gotham has got to have blimps. I mean, it is just one of those things that make Gotham what it is, even if it doesn't make any sense why police officers would have blimps. But it's just great. One of my complaints of Arkham Asylum is that there weren't too many different designs of thugs, but in here there are so many different designs of thugs that you will face. There's the Joker thugs, Penguin thugs, Two-Face goons, and Tiger guards who are part of Hugo Strange's security crew. But since they all come with masks and hoods and stuff, you will almost feel like you are never facing the same enemy twice. The cutscenes are once again few and far between, but as the story progresses, when they are there, they are done really well. In fact, much better than the first game, and I really like those cutscenes. The game also has a few moments where reality bends, and when that happens, the whole world gets really weird and twisted in a great way. One of the things I kind of missed was the Scarecrow levels. However, these other levels really made up for the creepy designs and weird moments that Asylum had. The long and short of it, Arkham City took Asylum's designs and builds and improves on them so they can look even cooler. Asylum's gameplay was simple to learn, hard to master type of gameplay. Your basic moves was punch and counters with a few other options to do a lot of damage here and there. And like any good sequel, they take the combat and expand and refine it. Before, there were only 2 items on the quick trigger, and it was kind of awkward to use them. But now, almost every weapon in Batman's utility belt is ready to use with just the click of a button. It changes things when it is easy to shock one enemy, and then punch another, then grapple another into a clothesline with ease. Also, there are just more moves that Batman is capable of. Before, he could only counter one enemy at a time. Now he can counter multiple enemies at the same time. And if you feel like you're being crowded, you can just use the new stun moves that stuns all enemies that are close to you to get some space. Or if you have a bunch of baddies that are on the floor but are going to get back up, you can use the new move where you can jump in the air and throw some batarangs to make sure they stay down. It is an all-around improvement to an already great fighting mechanic. Of course, Predator mode is back and is also a bit refined as well. Your task will still be to take out all the hostiles in the room without being filled with bullets, but this time some things change up the game. Sometimes an enemy will have a jammer on its back that will take out your ability to see things in detective mode. Sometimes they will have a hostage, so you have to try to save the hostage without getting him killed. Sometimes they may be equipped with night vision goggles, so it will be harder to hide in the shadows. And if they catch on that you are hiding in the gargoyles, they will simply just shoot them down. The enemy AI is really well done, and they act like real thugs would if they were getting hounded by the Batman. It is easy to see that Batman doesn't just sit on his butt between games because you are equipped with a lot of new gadgets and still keep most of your old ones, although the grappling hook and batarangs have been downgraded a little bit, mostly to make the game more of a challenge. But for new gadgets, you have a device that can electrically shock components, a freeze grenade to freeze them in place. You have smoke grenades that are very useful in Predator mode because they help you disappear if you have been spotted and to confuse your enemies. And then you have the disruptor that can jam an enemy's gun so it will not fire. And it is just fun when you have only one enemy left and you jam his gun and then you drop right in front of him. He's freaking out, tries to shoot at you, and his gun won't work. Striking fear. best part of the job. This game learned from what their fans said about Asylum when they wanted to beat up the bad guys, not just their thugs. And you do. You get to run fisticuffs with almost every one of the bad guys you fight. And it is really satisfying to beat the crap out of some of these villains. However, I think the biggest complaint that Asylum had is that you will have detective mode on for most of the time and you can't really see the great gothic designs that this game has. And I heard in interviews that they were going to address it so detective mode wasn't on all the time, but unfortunately detective mode is just too useful that you actually have it on more. You have it on whenever you're gliding because it helps you find Riddler's clues, and you just have it on whenever you're in Predator mode because it's just the best way to attack. It's interesting that a complaint of the game is that it does something too well, so it's on most of the time. But it just is what it is. Now, there are not too many things to complain about of the combat. One little problem that I have is that you will face off against some Titan opponents just like in the first game. But this time, when you fight them, you have to fight them differently. Before, when they charged at you, you hit them in the head with a batarang, then they would run into a wall. I said that in the first game that it was a little silly to see that. But now, throwing a batarang does absolutely nothing to them. And on the one hand, you can say, hey, they fixed a mistake that they had in the first game. And sure, it is something that I pointed out in the first game as being a little silly, but I've played Asylum so much that now whenever I hear that Titan yell, I automatically throw a batarang no matter what. It is built into me. I can't really stop. And now it does nothing. It throws my whole combo out of whack. But it isn't really a big problem. I mean, those enemies are not really in the game a whole lot. Anyway, the Riddler is back and has pretty much doubled the amount of riddles this time. However, this time he has hostages and has a little bit more reason for you to find the riddles. If you don't, he'll kill the hostages. The whole game is filled with nice little puzzles for you to find. They are varied in difficulty. Some will take a few seconds to figure out, others will drive you insane to get the stupid little trophy. You do have some missions that you can change and play as Catwoman, but since I don't have the internet, I can't access that, even though I did buy the game new, so I got screwed because I didn't have the internet. Well, that's hardly fair. But in any case, the combat is just faster, harder, and more interesting, and just more fun than it has ever been.
This is not going to be easy, Dark Knight.
It is interesting because when I went back to review Arkham Asylum, I wasn't fully sure which game I thought was better. Arkham Asylum, I think, was probably better paced. I mean, there are some moments in Arkham City where you feel like you are overwhelmed and you're not entirely sure what to do, and you really don't know how to handle the situations. And there are some times when you're heading toward your objective and you're on your way, then you're almost there, then all of a sudden the phone rings and you have to go onto the side mission. And then you have to go halfway across town and then then you have to go all the way back. It's a little annoying at times. Also, there'll be some times when you just want to find some Riddler trophies and then some thugs will start attacking you and you're like, man, just leave me alone. I just want to find some trophies. But replaying the first game, there is just so much more in Arkham City. More to the story, more to the gameplay, more to the details, the stakes are higher, and it does everything that a great sequel should do. It expands on the story, improves an already amazing gameplay system, and just blows your mind with its scope and presentation. It is a far superior game than Arkham Asylum, and that is one of my favorite video games. If you are a gamer, you owe it to yourself to play this game. If you are a Batman fan, well, to be quite honest, it doesn't really matter what you are a fan of. Everyone should experience Arkham City if they have the ability to play a video game. And that gets a 9 out of 10 from me. So thanks for watching Arkham Week, everybody. It was a blast to make. So remember, guys, I'm LazyDude99. If I don't like it, it's not worth it. Thanks again for watching. So, with this, I close Arkham Week. Until the next game, at least. See you around.
Be sure to check out more of my other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.
Okay, I would like to just apologize for how late this review is. I got a little busy at Christmas and, you know, stuff like that. So, sorry. I know that this doesn't really qualify for being part of Arkham Week, but oh well.